Hey everyone, my name is JC. I'm one of the co-founders of BIC, and I just wanted to jump on here really quick and discuss this video that was sent over to me about a week or two ago. The video has Piers Morgan, Candace Owens, and Mikhaila Peterson discussing Jordan Peterson's benzodiazepine injury. The full video is going to be linked in our description below if you want to check it out. Let's get into it.
Regarding your father's audience, there were a lot of people who, after his addiction and feeling like he was not honest about his addiction, a lot of men who sort of switched off from Jordan Peterson. I mean, that is just a fact. I understand and respect that it is your father, and so you're naturally going to be defensive of him. And if it was a family member of mine, I would naturally be defensive of him. But to pretend like I plucked the topic out of pure air simply to be a mean girl and not because it was trending, literally saying that people are wondering what's going on with Jordan Peterson, I think that's you not being very genuine about why I was discussing it. And I think that I was tremendously respectful. I also paid him a huge compliment. I think his book and what it did for men worldwide at a time when men were being completely stomped on and masculinity was being questioned. And I said I would never remove that and would never take the credit away from him. But there have been some things that have just registered to the public as odd. I didn't make your father trend that day. So I think he's able to deal with a little bit of criticism.
You want to respond, Mikhaila?
I guess I'm just confused because Candace said she wasn't into celebrity culture. So then I thought maybe it was just a personal thing if it's not about a celebrity, but maybe I just got that wrong. I don't know what else I can respond to about that. People can listen to, can I finish? Thank you. People can listen to the 26-minute. Like you can say, oh, I said something nice at the end. It's the same thing when you say these things and your tone is off. You can be like, oh, tone doesn't matter. But you say things sometimes in a bit of a manipulative fashion to get people to think a certain way. And then when people bring them up, you go, well, those aren't the words I said. But tone matters too. Anyway, people can go on YouTube and listen to the 26-minute section of your video on Dad and see what they think. I think it's high school mean girl tactics. I don't care if you think that's ad hominem either.
Candace?
Well, I would just say that when I was referring to celebrity culture, I meant worshiping people because they're celebrities. So I think that would make me ideologically consistent. And like I said, he was trending that day. I covered it as a trending topic. It's not a mean girl thing, but it might feel that way to you because it's your father and you have a personal relationship. You know, I can apologize if you are hurt from me covering the news, but like I said, we have to develop a thicker skin when we're in the public. How many things are said about me routinely on a daily basis? If people want to cover after I have, you know, an addiction and people say, hey, after this, I think people lost faith in Candace Owens and that becomes a trending topic, I think that's fair game. It may not feel good to me, but I think that it would be fair game and it would be newsworthy.
Okay.
You do know that 1/5 of Americans are on psych meds, right? Are you aware of the statistics?
Yes.
Are those all people with addictions?
Correct.
Like, is that your view of people on psych meds just in general?
No, your father spoke out about his benzo addiction, so I don't understand why you're asking me a question about people that take psych meds.
Benzo dependence. Maybe you don't know anything about this. If you're on a psych med long term, you form a dependence on it, and it's very difficult to get off of. They're starting to teach this in medical school. It's a disaster because so many Americans are on psych meds. So yeah, he suffered from psych med withdrawal because they make you form a dependence on it, especially long term. Now, calling it an addiction as if he was on heroin or something is manipulative, you know? So when we talked about it and we were very honest about what was going on, part of it was to spread awareness that 1/5 of Americans are on medications that cause dependence and don't know it. It's horrible. People die because of it. So I think laughing about it is like, it's not cool.
I certainly don't think I laughed at it. I think benzo dependence is pretty much a euphemism for an addiction. And if you know anything about my work and me being super crunchy and speaking about why I think medicines are bad because they do create dependencies, which then yield people going onto the streets for something stronger. I mean, the benzo addiction becomes a heroin addiction because the doctor won't write you the prescription anymore. So you turn to the streets for something stronger because your body is dependent on it. I'm sorry that again, you are offended by this conversation simply because it is your father. I don't think I've been offensive in my language. And if you find it to be manipulative, that I think that it impacted the way that men saw him when they publicly were saying that on Twitter. We covered the tweets that people were writing on that day about how, they used to idolize him. They're so grateful for his book, but this is not the person that they knew. Again, I'm sorry you're offended by that, but it's just the reality of what happened. And I can tell this is a sensitive topic for you, but it is what it is, Mikhaila. I don't know what to say. I don't think anybody's laughed at it. I think it's a good conversation to be had, and no one is more anti-Big Pharma than me. I mean, I have an entire series against Big Pharma, so.
I don't even know where to start with that. Benzo addicts will go to the street for heroin. We were trying to spread awareness about psych med withdrawal, and we were very honest about what everybody was going through. I went through psych med withdrawal myself. It was one of the worst experiences in my life. It kills people, causes akathisia, which makes people suicidal. It's a terrible side effect. So that's what we were talking about. Now, if you want to twist that a little bit and be like, he's losing his audience because he's an addict, I don't really know what to say.
Okay. I think we've had a robust exchange about that, and you both made your views very clear.
So what did you all think of that clip? To me, I think Mikhaila has a very clear understanding of the potential risks of benzodiazepines and other psych meds withdrawal, and a strong understanding of the difference between physical dependence and withdrawal, and would like to educate that this withdrawal happens to people who are following their prescription exactly as prescribed. Whereas Candace has likely been misinformed by the media coverage surrounding Jordan Peterson's injury, which at that time was filled with addiction language. I'd love to hear what you all think in the comments. Let me know.